Okay, so a couple people asked me to make a video on shooting slingshots. So if you only follow me for archery, get out. Just kidding. This is how I personally shoot slingshots. I'll shoot a bunch for you today. I got 4 out here. Um, for me personally, the way that I aim, and I'll show you how I aim. Um, I'll show you my aiming system anyway. This is my favorite slingshot. This is my second favorite. I don't know where these are in terms of my favorite level. So what I'm gonna do is shoot this one first because I don't remember how to I even aim with this one. What I First off, let me start by saying I shot wrist rockets as a kid. I was pretty good, not very good. It was mostly instinctive, um, and I held it back as far as I could, mostly against my cheek, and I let it rip. I didn't really have an aiming system. With these flat bands, I definitely have an aiming system. What I do is I hold them sideways. I call it gangster style. I don't know, because in movies they go bap bap bap. Anyway, gangster style, I hold it like that. And then what I do is, I'll show you in the video, is I aim with this part of my slingshot once those bands are straight. So I aim, once I get these bands straight in my eye view this way, and then so I kind of do that. I don't want to be off like this or crooked. I want to be straight like that. I personally, most of you that are going to start shooting slingshots, I suggest coming to full anchor on your chin or somewhere on your face and aiming with, again, this part of your frame and seeing where that is, and then we can adjust this later. So I'm going to explain it a little bit more. I know right now it makes no sense whatsoever. There's some people that shoot what they call butterfly style. They'll actually hold the pouch with these 2 fingers and come all the way back like this and shoot it. I'm somewhere in the middle, so I shoot 3/4 butterfly. I shoot somewhere right around there. And again, what I'm doing in my eye, in my dominant eye, is I'm lining up the bands this way so that they're like that. So not like that or like that, but once they're straight, I think of this as my scope. So for those of you that work with crosshairs, imagine this being the center of your crosshairs. In the beginning, we're going to change it up. Or if you're thinking of like a sighted rifle, think of this as your sight. And what we want to do is, I'm not going to explain everything, every single detail. These are the balls that I'm shooting. I'm shooting target bands out of a fairly small pouch. There are specific terms for all of these, and I don't really want to get into it. So what I do, again, I shoot 3/4 butterfly. So I come back here, I do all my aiming, and then it's very much like in archery. When you want to make the shot, you just release and pull straight back. So we have a high-tech target here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to, and what you want to do is, shoot a bunch of times and figure out where you want to anchor, whether it's on your chin, whether it's on your cheekbone, whether it's back here. Like, again, some people go all the way back here, but build up a consistent shot so that it's not completely awkward and different each time. Once you build up a consistent shot, it doesn't matter how far off we are with the frame when we're aiming, we can adjust that later. So what I'm going to do at this point, you're just going to have to assume that I can shoot consistently. I'm going to put the corner of my frame right where I want to hit, and let's see what happens. So hopefully you can see it. It's low and right. Now I'm going to do it again to see if I'm consistent. If all of my hits are going low and right, then I'm going to aim high and left, if that makes sense. Okay, so that shot was right next to the first one. So they're there. One is here, one is there. That's good because I know I'm consistent. Once I'm consistent, I can be accurate. So if I'm aiming with this part of my frame and everything is going low and left, low and right, rather, over here. I am dyslexic. I apologize if I confuse people. I probably mix things up in my head. So if everything, when I'm aiming with this part of my slingshot, is low and right, then I need to aim high and left. This is again because I'm consistent, I can do this. If my shots are all over the place at this point, then I know I'm not consistent. I gotta go back to the drawing board and build a consistent shot. Again, I don't care if you got 4 pellets that all hit within this circle, that's great. Then what you want to do is aim here, and then you're going to hit here. For me personally, each slingshot works differently in my mind. What I like to eventually have happen is that I find a slingshot where I can aim slightly, ever so slightly off of my frame. So imagine this is where I'm actually trying to hit. My favorite slingshot, in my mind, I'm aiming just like a ½ inch off of the frame and in the middle of the frame for, say, a shot up to 20 yards. If I'm going further, I need to aim lower on the frame. Once you master this, you can become really accurate. So just for giggles this time, I'm going to aim high and left. And let's see if I can come close to that target. Okay, so that hit pretty close to the target. Try one more time with this. So that, yeah, it's pretty close. No slingshot is going to be more accurate than any other slingshot. This is a slingshot I made for probably 75 cents. I went out in the woods, found a forked slingshot, and built a slingshot. Once I get used to this one, I'm as accurate with it as any other slingshot. Sorry, some critter just ran by. Let's see how this one's aiming. I'm going to do the same process. I'm going to put my top frame where it is. So this one went off to the right. That shot hit there. So after this video, I have some cans and stuff set up in the yard, and I'll show you how accurate I can become with I'll shoot my favorite slingshot. So again, I'm going to do just a test shot. I'm going to put the top of my frame exactly on that center and see where this pellet goes. So it's off to the right again. So now I know that if I want to hit anything with this slingshot, I need to aim this top of the frame off to the left. I'll do one more and see how close I can get. Okay, so I actually did hit the center circle. So I hit this, but I was aiming over there because all my shots were going off to the right. So I'm aiming to the left. Again, this is just a slingshot that I made out of a tree in the woods. This is another slingshot. I really like this slingshot. This is made by a guy up in Canada. It's called I think it's called a Res Dog. And again, it's for me when I'm shooting in that gangster style. I just like a slingshot that fits comfortably in my hand, and I'm fairly accurate with this slingshot. But this simple guy is my favorite. I like having a handle because sometimes I just don't hold on to it very hard. Just for some reason, this setup really fits my hand well. So with this slingshot, I've been shooting a lot lately. This slingshot, so I should be fairly accurate with it. What I have to do is aim. I aim for everything right about, again, where that stick is, where this part of the stick is. Right about there is where I aim with this slingshot. So I'll show you, a couple shots for the center with this slingshot, and then I'll pause the video and I'll start shooting some tin cans in the yard. All right. So that went through the exact same hole that I shot with the other one, hitting the center circle. So this is what my shot looks like sideways. I come back to about there, I aim, and I release. And I think I exaggerated that for the video. I don't probably don't pull back like that every time. Let's see if I can't do that again. That's all there is to it. And you can become quite accurate. If you want, there's lots of information on YouTube about how to shoot these things. There's a company called slingshot. It's owned by a guy named Nathan Winters. He really knows a lot about slingshots, thoroughly enjoys them and loves them. So there's lots of resources out there. If you have any questions, hit me up. But it really is great fun. When I can hit like a can at 20, 30 yards, it's a lot of fun. You can set up metal targets like this one. Oh, I missed. I'll hit it so that you can hear it. See, it's got a nice ding to it, but any tin can, spray them with orange. It's great fun. So again, if you have any questions, hit me up, and I'll make the other part of that video now. All right, we're gonna pause. Okay, so we're back to the second part of this video. Hopefully you can see them. We have some orange cans down there in the yard. I have a bunch of slingshot targets set up along that stick. So again, that's great fun. And there's probably, I hate to say it, but 50, 60,000 of these balls out there. I've been doing this for a long time. It's great fun. I'll hit the metal target for you. See that? Ding! A lot of fun. I'll hit a smaller metal target. Very satisfying. A friend of mine named Leonard showed me the flat band shooting technique about 10 years ago. At first I thought it was silly. I was like, yeah, I shot slingshots as a kid, but really, And then once I started getting good, it really is so much fun. So let's see if I can hit that can. And we got it. It's just fun. There's another can next to it. There's a guy also on YouTube, I forget his first name, but his last name is Fowler. He's really good with a slingshot too. He's got a lot of videos that'll teach you how to do it. We'll get that next tin can. Oh, even knocked it over. So anyway, when you, like I said, when you can hit a tin can at 20, 30 yards, it's great fun. I don't have to go out there and pick up my arrows. The bands don't work well in the winter when it's really, really cold. So it's mostly a summer thing for me. But again, if you have any questions, hit me up. You can buy all of these products from a place called Simple Shot. All right, be well, aim small.